What up, everybody? We are live. Let me share this link. Share. Throw that in the group me. All right. Let's jump into a little week 2 recap. We'll let some people join in. Nice little week there. We'll give it a minute or two for people to join in. Got a good one this week. There's Landon. Another loss, and Landon's going to have to change his name back to Parker. I want to restart, potentially. Matt's in here. What up, Matt? All right, we got 2 people. All right, first we want to. Dan's in here. We got 3 viewers. Why isn't that telling me that we got 3 viewers? Oh, there we go. This is great. All right. I don't think Shane's going to be joining us. He is a salty boy. I wasn't going to say anything, but he's real salty. He is in a bad place, real bad place. So, everyone be a good friend and a good league mate. Reach out to Shane, check in on him, make sure he's okay. It was a rough week for him. I know he got to win week 1, but he's down bad. And just be a good friend and reach out to him, make sure he's okay. He could use the support and the love. All right, so make sure we take care of our guy Shane. But yeah, let's jump into this. I'll throw that one up here. All right, let's go to the recap. Alrighty, here we go. Week 2. We'll start off. Just what I see on my screen. I had me versus Corey. Of course, I got the dub. 103 to 90. 103 to 90. I get the dub. Let's take a look at who performed. J.K. Dobbins again. I think he might be your leading rusher in the NFL. Yeah, my guy's averaging 10 yards per carry. He's got 2 tutties. That offensive line is looking phenomenal. Debo had a good game. Unfortunately, Debo got hurt, him and everybody else this week. He had a nice game, had 11.5. Olave had 9. Brian Thomas had 9.4. My boy Yoshi had 2 tutties, 12.7 points. ETN found the end zone. Brock Purdy had a solid game, 19 points. Again, we're not getting these huge QB games this year so far, so only 19 points for my quarterback seems to be good, all things considered. We look at Corey's team. He got a really nice game out of James Conner. Devontae Smith had a nice game, 13.6. Charbonnet scored. He had 13 points. Shane deleted his group me. He said, okay. Oh, he's going to be really upset when he sees what I said. That's why if you haven't got a hold of Shane, he deleted the group me. Like I said, reach out to him. We love Shane. He's in a bad place. David Montgomery had 13. Anthony Richardson had a terrible game. Cowboys defense got fucking smoked. And prayers for Shane. It's. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna try to do an emote, but no, I can't see anything. Okay, there we go. Yes, absolutely. Let's prayers for Shane. So yeah, Corey got smacked around, learned a little bit. It's not his time yet. I win. I moved to 2-0. Corey 1-1. Moving on, we've got Logan versus Dan, the Vikings boys. The Vikings boys. Dan laid it on Logan big time. Kirk Cousins came through with 22 for him. Ramondre had another good game, 15. Justin Jefferson had 20. He had fucking 16 on one play. DK had a nice game. Josh Palmer disappoint. Kyle Pitts disappoint. Chargers defense looks solid. Then we look, looks like Wan'Dale Robinson might be a decent little depth piece for Dan. He's got, get a lot of targets there. Looks like a nice little depth piece there. Looks like Logan's going to have to move on from Caleb Williams. That offensive line looks horrible. I don't know if you can trust anybody in the Chicago Bears offense right now. That offensive line is horrendous. Turns out Justin Fields wasn't the problem. It was the offensive line. So I would expect Logan to start Sam Darnold going forward. But he got 16 points from Josh Jacobs, loses Cooper Kupp to a big injury. He's gonna be out quite a while. Christian Kirk, I think we had a bet, Logan and I did, about Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas Jr. So far this year, Christian Kirk has 2 catches. His first game, he had 1 catch for 30 yards. In his second game, he had 1 catch for -1 yards. So safe to say I'm winning that bet. Christian Kirk, wide receiver 1. Gabe Davis is doing better than him. Devin Singletary continues to perform well, 13.5 points. Vikings defense did really well against the Niners. Good for them. And then, like I said, Sam Darnold got 24 on his bench. Sam Darnold's QB8 right now in scoring. But anyways, Dan wins 115-74 to move to 2-0. Logan moves to 1-1. Then we go on. Prayers for Shane. Shane takes a big L to Nick, 88-57. Lowest score of the week, lowest score of the year. 57 points. Didn't see that coming. I'm not gonna lie. Shane's got it on paper. Shane, if you told me a team that had Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs was only gonna score 57 points, I would have said you were crazy. But here we are. 12 points out of Jared Goff. That offense is struggling to get going. He had the 2 picks, which obviously killed, and no touchdowns. He threw the hell out of the ball. He threw it 30 or 50 times. Rico Dowdle had 6 points. Najee Harris had 7.4. Jamar Chase had 3.5, and a unsportsmanlike conduct call where he was saying some very mean things to the ref. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a nice game, 13.4, but he got hurt. And it's weird because it's like he has a soft tissue injury, but then he said that he told his body that it's not an injury. So we'll see how that turns out for him. We know he's tough as shit. He played through that core injury 2 injuries last year that any other human being isn't playing through. So he's a tough guy. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a special player, but as I have stated before, he might be in for some trouble. Tyreek Hill might be. Tyreek Hill and Skylar Thompson's 3 full games in 2022, 9 targets per game averages, 9 targets per game, 5 catches per game, 46 yards per game, no touchdowns. Fading. The only player that I will trust in that offense is Devon Achane. I think they're going to try to run the hell out of the ball, pass when they need to, try to get to where they need to be for Tua to come back. Tyler Conklin, he already dropped him. Stephon Diggs only had 3.7 points. 0 from his defense. And then Shane's bench just had 3 points. So tough week all around for Shane. Can't even say, I would have started this guy. I would have done better. Like, no. It's not like Nick put up a ton of points. Dak Prescott, only had 15. Jordan Mason had a huge game. He's a stud, 19.4 points. Calvin Ridley had the 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore, he is the 555 deal, as Tanner likes to call him. Jahan Dotson didn't do anything with AJ Brown being out. I don't even know why they got Jahan Dotson. Like, he's a good ball player. I don't know why they would use him when AJ's out. Kobe Parkinson looks like that pickup was moot. Jeff Wilson, did he got hurt, right? Yeah, avoided a major injury, oblique injury. State's defense looked good. Ty Chandler had a nice game. Has a nice role in that offense. Chuba Hubbard was able to move the ball a little bit. I think better days are ahead with Andy Dalton at quarterback. We'll see, but he did have 10 carries for 64 yards and 4 catches for 12, so that's solid. But yeah, Nick moves to 1-1. Shane moves to 1-1. 88 to 57. All right, here's your highest score of the week. Tom, neighbors think I'm selling dope, wins 133 to 87 against Matt. Matt falls to 0-2, and Matt is in big trouble. Big trouble. Well, let's start with Tom. Kyler Murray put up a huge game, 35 points. Then Pacheco, who unfortunately, as we know, went down with a big injury. He had 11. Zamir White continues to lose a lot of work to Madison. Zay Flowers had a big game, 15. Malik Neighbors had a huge game, 20.2 points. Him and Marvin Harrison really went off this week. Brandon Ayuk continues to really disappoint me, and I'm sure disappoint Tom. But with Debo being out, Ayuk's going to have to step up. Kincaid continues to disappoint. Darnell Mooney had a real nice game last night. Looked real good. Steelers defense continues to be good, and then JSN had a huge game on the bench. He had 12 catches for 117 yards. That's nice. So Tom puts up 33 points, and then let's look at Matt. Pat Mahomes, 17 points. Javonte Williams, 7. Miles Sanders stinks. Jalen Waddle, 4.5. Deontay Johnson stinks by proxy of Bryce Young. Devontae Adams had a big game, so that's good to see. 18.5 points. Mark Andrews, 5. Jalen McMillan, 2. Kaime Fairbairn, that dude's fucking cash. I would actually trade for Kaime if I could. If there wasn't a trade embargo. That dude's got 17 points week 1 and 20 points week 2. God, that's 37 points. He's got more points than a lot of fucking quarterbacks do. But yeah, our guy Matt's some trouble. He doesn't really have running backs or flex. It's going down. It's got to be hard to look at that team and have much optimism. No offense, Matt. So yeah, Matt moves 0-2, and Tom is 2-0. Here's an upset of the week, I thought, and just overall in general. Mason is 0-2. Joe and Griff moved to 1-1. They win 114 to 109. They got a solid game on Aaron Rodgers, 19. Bijan had 12. Alvin Kamara. Well, let's think about it this way. If they didn't get 45 points from Alvin Kamara, they would have lost. If they had only gotten 30 points from Alvin Kamara, they would have lost. Alvin Kamara went off for 45 fucking points. Huge game. Turned back the clock. Lad McConkey, 2.6. Tyler Johnson, 2. Jared Judy, 7. Jaleel McLaughlin, 0.6. And not much on the bench either. Like, this is a team that has no wide receivers. They're going to need Kamara to do that every single week to continue to give them a chance. And then we look at Mason. Mason's got to make a move, I think, in my opinion. He's 0-2. He's scoring points. And his bench put up as many points as Shane's team. His bench put up 56 points. He's got the depth to make a move. Now, I don't know what kind of move is out there to be made for him, but Joe Burrow had 21. Kyron had 11. Derrick Henry had 16. Garrett Wilson has been disappointing. He had 6. George Pickens had 3. Godwin had 19. He's been balling. George Kittle had 14. But yeah, I mean, you look on his bench. Rashid Shaheed had 17. Quentin Johnson had 17. Khalil Herbert found the end zone. He has 7. So, yeah, we'll see if Mason makes a trade. If he does, it'll probably be with Dan, because that's just how that works. So Joey and Griff moved to 1-1, and Mason moves to 0-2. Mike gets humbled a little bit. Mike is 1-1 now, and Kevin finally gets on the board with a win. Kevin wins 103 to 89 over Mike. Kevin got a real big game under James Cook, had 28 points to set the stage. Outside of Kevin had three big games in all reality. He had 28 from James Cook, 26 from Jalen Hurts, 19 from the Texans, and then he had 13 from Justin Tucker. But outside of that, nobody else on his team other than next highest scorer on his team was 6.5. DeAndre Swift, Tank Dell, Christian Watson put up a 0. Alan Lazard had 1. Obviously AJ Brown was out. But Kevin is also in a tough spot when you look at that team. You look at Mike. Herbert had 15. Saquon had 13. He dropped that pass at the end of the game. Probably would have scored on that. He still wouldn't. Mike wouldn't have won. Let's see. It was probably like a. I don't know. What do you have won on that? 8. No, he wouldn't have won on that play, but just more points out there that he could have had. Zeke didn't do anything. Jaden Reed didn't really do anything. CD had a nice game, had 15. Keon Coleman continues to be AWOL, as I predicted. Brock Bowers had a breakout party, a little 9.8 points. Donnie Mitchell dropped a huge pass in that game. Browns defense solid. Dustin Hopkins. Derek Carr might be Mike's starting quarterback going forward. The Saints look legit. He's quarterback number 2 this year. He put up 27 in week 1 and 26 here in week 2. So, Mike lost, but he's got some things to look forward to. I think if he starts Derek Carr, obviously if Jordan Love comes back, you upgrade Jaden Reed there. But Saquon looks to be a reliable option. Bowers reliable option. CD reliable. So. Yeah, Tanner or the new Tanner, which is Kevin, moves to 1-1. Mike falls to 1-1, and then we got Tim. Tim knocked off Tanner. Thank you. Tanner should be 0-2, but he is 1-1. Tim beat him. Tim got obviously the huge game from Marvin Harrison, 27 points. He got an okay game from Lamar at 18. Good game from Rasheed at 14. Austin Eckler had 9. Lions had 13. Just solid games from everybody, really. He put up 104. And then you look at Tanner's team, injuries have really decimated him. I think some of his guys are not as good as he thought they were, and they're not as good as we tried to tell him. He got the huge game from Devon Achane, 23. Brees Hall had 17. That's going to happen every week. But Amari Cooper stinks, 1.1. Gabe Davis stinks, 4.3. Curtis Samuel can be dropped, 0.3. Sam Laporta, I don't know why they aren't looking to him or what. I obviously there's been the emergence of Jamison Williams, so maybe they're not looking to Laporta as much. I don't know. But yeah, Tanner only put up 86 points. Tanner loses 86 to 105. Tim is 1-1. Tanner is 1-1. And then last but not least, a little bit of an upset here, and he got smoked. Parker got smoked. Pizzo won 106 to 84. Pizzo did that with only getting 12 points from Josh Allen. Jonathan Taylor had 17. Brian Robinson had 17. Brian Robinson has back-to-back games of 15 and 17, so looking really nice there as the bell cow. Drake London found the end zone for 11 total points. Bills defense put up 19. Evan McPherson put up 15. So real nice game for Pizzo. I mean, it's not 106. That's what's winning right now. All of our teams have got some injuries, and there hasn't been much trading. So all the teams are pretty fairly balanced right now. Nobody's getting desperate yet. But Parker might be getting desperate. He is 0-2. Matt Stafford lost both of his guys, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, for a while. So I don't expect Stafford is not startable. Jahmyr Gibbs had a solid game, 10. Pollard, 10. Jameson had 9. Pittman has been horrible this year. Terry McLaurin has been non-existent, which really befuddles me. That one. Travis Kelce, they aren't using yet. The thing with Kelce is Kelce's going to get his, but I think they're just kind of easing him along. It's a long season. He's obviously older. I think towards the end of the season they'll really get him going. But yeah, I think they're just going to play it slowly. Nico Collins is a stud. Um, just want to remind you guys that I did call that 2 years ago, so it wasn't last year, but it was the year before. I had said Nico Collins was a beast, and everybody doubted me, and I was right. He's out of Michigan. Shout out Kevin. Um, Jaguars defense. That's why I dropped them. Like I said, both didn't want anything to do with them this week after both of their DBs were ruled out. Brandon Aubrey's a stud kicker. Kickers are fucking lighting it up this year. I'll tell you what. I mean, Parker did have some good performances on the bench. Khalil Shakir had 6 points. Alec Pierce had 12. Antonio Gibson had 10. But he's going to need a quarterback. He's going to want to look into that. So yeah, a lot of injuries this week, as we talked about. If we look at the 1 second here. If you look at the injuries, here's who we've got. Jordan Love, 3 to 4 weeks. Tua, multiple weeks. Christian McCaffrey's IR, probably week 10. Isaiah Pacheco, IR. So minimum 4. Kenneth Walker is likely going to miss another week or two. Tyjae Spears, to be determined. Joe Mixon, we'll have to see if that ends up being a high ankle. Puka, IR. Cooper Kupp, IR. Keenan Allen, Deebo Samuel, Hollywood Brown out for season. T. Higgins week to week. AJ Brown probably going to miss week 3 as well. Jordan Addison probably going to miss again. Evan Ingram got hurt before the game. He's probably week to week, it said. Just so many injuries. Like I said, Deebo, you add him into there. We'll see. I'll be interested to see what people put on Kareem Hunt this week. As we know, he's visiting his old home of Kansas City. For a workout today, I would guess that he does not leave there today. Without a contract. And let's look ahead. Let's look ahead here. All right, week 3. We got me versus Parker. Parker opens up as an 8-point favorite. Might be in some trouble without Deebo this week. We'll see if we can figure it out. We've got Shane versus Tom. That's a big game for Shane. Big bounce back game for him. Right now, Shane's favored by 4 points. We'll see if he can pull it off. We got Matt versus Nick. Things aren't getting any easier for Matt. He's projected for 98. Nick is projected for 111. 0-3 in that roster is going to it's going to give vibes of Matt selling in week 4 several years ago. So we'll see. Then we've got Joey versus Dan. Remember, this is the last week of our inter-division games, our divisional games. And then next week we start going outside of our division. Dan is projected to beat Joey and Griff by 5. Then we've got Logan versus Mason. Wow. Mason's projected to win by 25 points. Yep. Let's see. This is Tim and Kevin. Tim is projected to win by 8. Be a nice win for Tim. Then we've got Mike and Tanner. Tanner's projected to win by 7 despite all the injuries. Would really like to see Mike pull off the win there. And then we've got Corey versus Pizzo. And Pizzo opens up is the heavy favorite, 11-point favorite. How the hell is that? I gotta see this. Where's all these points? Yeah. Oh, because Charbonnet. I'm guessing they got Kenneth Walker projected to be back. Oh yeah, so he'll just need to adjust his lineup, and that should, if he puts him in 7 points, it's going to be a closer projection. But Pizzo's still going to be projected to win. Interesting. Yep. So remember, this is the last week of divisional games. A big week before we break out into facing other teams. That's all I got. As always, respect the commit. Get some trades going. This is weak. No trades. This trade embargo bullshit is dumb. It's dumb. I've been right about my guys. J.K. Dobbins. I was right. Yoshivas. I was right. Jalen Polk scored a touchdown yesterday. They want to get him more involved. That's phenomenal. Who else do I have? I'll tell you what, Devin Singletary gets hurt. Tyrone Tracy. That's a workhorse backfield right there. You want whoever the main guy is. So yeah. The only guy I wasn't right about yet was Greg Dulcich, but he did have 11 targets yesterday. The only problem is Bo Nix is the one throwing him those targets. So yeah, that's I still think he's a talented player. We'll see if he can get to where he needs to go. All right, that's it for the week 2 recap, week 3 preview. Let's get some trades going. Remember, reach out to Shane, our brother, and make sure he's okay. Give him your love. Tell him better days are ahead. We need him back in the group. We need that energy. Even though he's 1-1, he's more than welcome to talk shit. Tim could be 0-6. Tim, has a career losing record, never made the playoffs, but Tim talks shit. So bring him in. Let's get Shane back in the group. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.